Okay. On Sunday, September 21st, 2025, at approximately 12:10 in the afternoon, the Newington Police Department received a 911 call from a female victim who stated her husband, after threatening self-harm, choked her and then left the scene with the children. Our units responded to the scene and located the victim. She further explained that after having a argument about marital problems, the argument became physical between her and her husband, John Layson Romero, age 36. As it progressed to be physical violence, she was choked about the neck where she had difficulty breathing due to it. That resulted in him being able to overpower her, and she had already loaded the children into the car to try to leave the scene, so he took over control of the vehicle and left the scene with the children. Thank you to our partner agencies, we were able to broadcast bolos for the vehicle, the suspect, and the children, and it was subsequently located in Stamford. Stamford Police Department were able to stop the vehicle in the area of Canal Street and North Street and make contact with the vehicle. However, due to the lack of cooperation from Mr. Layson Romero, it resulted in a standoff at the vehicle that resulted in the response of their SWAT team and crisis negotiators. They were able to resolve the scene by taking over custody of the children, who were later evaluated at a hospital, and take John Layson Romero into custody. His custody was transferred over to us. He was ultimately charged with 2 counts of kidnapping in the first degree, 1 count of strangulation in the second degree, 3 counts of unlawful restraint in the first degree, 3 counts of reckless endangerment in the first degree, 2 counts of risk of injury to a child, 1 count of assault in the third degree, and 1 count of criminal mischief in the second degree. Those are in relation to the incident that happened in Newington. I would assume that Stamford probably has additional charges on them for what transpired in Stamford also. Thank you to the Stamford Police Department, the Connecticut State Police, and other agencies that assisted and were involved in helping bring this to a speedy resolution.
Can you talk about the wife, how she's doing? Was she hospitalized at any point?
She did have minor injuries, and an ambulance was requested, but she ultimately refused any further care at that time. She did have a lot going on with her children being missing with the husband.
Have they been reunited?
I cannot speak to that now. I do not have the answer to that.
Do you know where the kids are?
As of this time, I don't know. I believe there was no injuries that would warrant probably their admission to the hospital. So that's information that I'm just not privy to. It's not that there's anything significant about it. I don't want to say something that I don't have confirmation on.
Do we know in terms of John Larson Gomez, does he have criminal record? Has there been other incidents of domestic violence in this home that the Newington police has?
We do have a small history in the house, but not directly related to domestic violence between him and the wife.
You can talk about the relations between the husband and wife and the kids.
They are a married couple, and that is the biological children to both of them.
Do you have their ages?
I can get that for you.
Do we know where he was headed when he was caught? Was he headed out of state or?
That I do not know the answer to.
Were the children both boys since what you've been hearing? Can you release that?
I can get that information and confirm it for you.
There's no civil protection order.
No, we had no actual domestic violence history with them in the town of Newington, and there was no restraining orders or protective orders on file at the time of the arrest.
Was there any exchange in gunfire down in Stamford during that standoff?
I don't have the exact information about what transpired down there, but I was not made aware of anything like that. I believe it was a standoff, and then ultimately the SWAT team did have to resolve the situation, but I'm not aware of anything like that.
Are you able to share if there were any weapons in the car?
I do not have any information to that.
Earlier we were talking about the process of issuing an Amber Alert. Can you talk about what was underway?
Yep, this was a quickly evolving situation involving a lot of moving parts. Bolos were put out to surrounding agencies, further expanded throughout the state. The vehicle suspect information and children information were entered as both a person of interest, a vehicle wanted in a felony, and missing children. Those entries were made into the computer system, so anybody running the plate or their names would immediately see that. And applications were submitted for an Amber Alert. However, prior to that being processed and issued, the vehicle was located, which negated the need for the Amber Alert.
I knew that you mentioned that you yourself were not there yesterday, but I know you can speak on behalf of the department. I mean, you're dealing with such a high stress situation, man on the run, police chase. I know Stanford helped pick it up and get the kids out of the car with the help of other agencies. Hearing that final resolution, at least if the kids were taken out and safe, what's going through your head when you hear about it?
Well, it's a big relief for everybody involved, and it's a very stressful situation for everybody involved. Incidents involving children typically hit home to first responders a little more. Sometimes it triggers if they have their children of their own. So it was a big relief to have such a successful resolution to the situation.
We're good.
Good?